Metal's evil, yeah, 666, the devil. Metal is evil.
Oh, that's gonna be so cringy. Metal is evil. Evil metal. Evil thing. Ranting about the fact that metal is not inherently evil or demonic or negative in any nature, really. Like, for real. As someone who used to describe themselves as a metalhead, even back then in high school, when I wasn't listening to like almost anything else for like 4 years, I still didn't think metal was inherently evil and dark and the devil. So it's really annoying that stereotype is still perpetuated so much. I find it most annoying that it's perpetuated by people who like metal more than like uneducated folks who don't like the genre of music. Because that's really what we're talking about, is a genre of music that is defined primarily by the instrumentation and that style, right? Like, they're not any one specific thing that I can think of that defines. It's not like a specific instrument. It's not like, you try to nail down the definition and it's going to be a little difficult, at least for me at this time. If I spend some time with it, then sure, we can come up with a definition and whatever else. So it's not like, oh, if it's got double kicks in it, it's metal. Because you could put double kicks in a country song, why not? And it could still be a country song, right? You throw a little bit of fiddle in a rap song, you got some Yellow Wolf, who's got some obvious country music influences, but it is still primarily, depending on the song we're talking about, still a rap song. It still fits into that genre. We got the certain beats like that are there, giving him room to rap. Anyway, like I said, it's a huge pet peeve. I really don't like it because I think it's a bad stereotype to have, and it's not true. If it was true, if it was like, oh yeah, like what defines metal from rock? Oh, rock and metal sound exactly the same, but if it's evil lyrics and whatever else, if it's devil worship, if it's whatever, then that's what makes it metal instead of rock. That's not the case, right? Like, there's things that separate rock and metal, and that's in the sound, and the lyrics and everything could be the same. You could have country songs that are, about selling your soul to the devil, right? Like, meeting on the crossroads and selling your soul to the devil so you can play the fiddle better, right? Like that's a trope, that's a thing. And then people would say, like, again, is like a funny way to perpetuate, oh, like, man, that's so metal. Why is that metal? Like, I mean, I think I've been a part of that in jest, just with bandmates in the past, like, just making fun of that, being like, yeah, man, having sushi's like so metal, or just like, I don't know, like, what makes something metal, right? Like I said, I participated in those things in jest, just amongst, like, I think mainly amongst the band, maybe on social media, I hope not, but I mean, I'm not going to say that I haven't done it. I definitely haven't done it in this way, where for some people, it's like a truism, where it's like, yeah, like, metal's all about, worshiping the devil and whatever else. I see so many, like, I subscribe to some metal meme pages on Facebook, and that's one thing I hate about it, is like, there's so much seriousness sometimes when they have memes about like metal being evil and like whatever, and I'm just like, that's so dumb. Like, it just like I said, it perpetuates the stereotype that doesn't help the genre of music. It doesn't help people who like that genre of music at all. And I mean, it's not like we need help, but I mean, it sucks when when the community itself is perpetuating that stereotype. That is not a good stereotype, I don't think, to have, because it's not true. And then commoners, or not commoners, people that aren't into metal, basically, then think like, they might be scared to get into it. They might not. They just have misunderstandings that aren't necessarily good ones. I mean, no misunderstanding to me is a good one really to have. I'd rather just, what's the truth of the matter? Let's get to that. But yeah, I don't like it. Like, I mean, here's the thing. So yeah, there's a lot, like, metal seems to be the place because the music seems to fit in with some lyrics being darker, in like a way of like darker subject matter, period, right? You can have darker subject matter, and you do in a lot of other genres of music. Metal, because just like the instrumentation, the heaviness of it, whatever else, it also can make you feel that way without the lyrics. So when you add the lyrics, it plays well, like it does. I'm not denying that at all. That's the thing, like, for me, who was involved in creating metal music or whatever in the bands I was in as like a vocalist, lyricist, like, I've often said, like, any style of music, like, I love music, but metal is the one thing that, like, I feel drawn to participating in more than other styles of music. And there's part of me that definitely wants to do things like, I would like to get into rap and stuff, because the lyrical component of it and the wordplay and the amount of verbose, like I could be very verbose with that genre, and it's a different style, and like it would still allow me to express myself in a way that would be beneficial to me, that would help, that would just be like tight. Like, I don't know how to describe it more than that. I don't think I need to. Yeah, so I mean, there's other genres I would get into, but metal is something that attracts me for a reason. I've only been in metal bands, partially because of my skill set with my voice and whatever, because I mean, singing, nope. Clean singing for me doesn't really work out well, and I've tried. Not crazy hard. I'm sure that if I really, really, really put the effort into it, I could get to a decent place, but I'm not going to. Anyway, so I mean, the style attracted me for a reason, because the things I had to express were darker subject matter, but none of them were inherently evil things. It wasn't about, you know, like, I mean, there's just so much different stuff within metal. Like, besides the fact that there's different genres of metal in itself, some of those genres, again, defined by the musicality, even play to different, like, lyrical stuff, like folk metal. I mean, it's generally defined by, like, oh, we've got pan flutes and stuff, and it's not, like, the lyrical content sometimes tends to be more about folklore and things too, but it can go off into personal stuff, emotional stuff, whatever. Most of my lyrics were very personal, and then there's some social commentary as well. But it wasn't like all metal is death metal. Like, what death metal is a sound, but it also is accompanied by a lot of the lyrics and concepts that go with that, which is usually brutal depictions of like aggression on other people and things. So I mean, that's not exclusive though. I mean, like, you can have death metal that you know, talks about the environment. That's a thing. Like, you could have death metal as like the musicality part of that genre that, you know, does other things, that talks about other things, personal things, whatever. So anyway, even in the metal, even as metal as a whole, under the umbrella of that, you've got tons of different genres, but they are defined by their musicality. They're not defined solely by the concepts. There's black metal bands, because black metal is so known for being like about you know, anti-Christianity, basically, whether it's in the form of atheism, whether it's being like super satanic, which are different things, right? Whatever. Anyway, it's black metal as a genre has been very, very known for being highly critical of Christianity. There's black metal Christian bands, because we're still defining black metal at its roots, the most important thing that defines the genre is the music. And so there are bands that fit into that musical style that are Christian bands that actively talk about God and Jesus and Christian themes, pro-Christian themes in their lyrics, right? I don't know. Like I said, it's just a huge pet peeve. I don't get it. It's not helpful, I don't think, for anybody to have these misconceptions. I don't like celebrating metal as this evil thing, because that's not what it ever meant to me, not what it should mean to anybody who likes metal. I mean, you could like metal and really get into some bands that are, you know, super satanic or aggressive or negative or evil or whatever. Like, that's part of the fun for some people, but those people are generally super basic. Like, seriously, like, there's so much, like, sometimes that's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of like metalheads that give people who like metal such a bad name. I like lots of genres of music, but even like I said, during that time in high school, yeah, I'm running out of gas, settle down. Even in that time in high school where I only really listened to metal, it wasn't about it being evil and this like novelty of like, yeah, I'm a metalhead and look at me and that's all I'm into. It just like, I just came out of like this super stupid like mainstream rap phase where like that's what I was into, and then I realized I couldn't relate to it at all. Someone like showed me some metal and I was like, whoa, like it was because I could relate to it. A lot of the stuff anyway. I never got into like much stuff I couldn't relate to, and then later on I did, because there's value in different genres and different lyrics and concepts, even if I can't directly relate to it. But I mean, that came with maturity too. So I don't know, I just think like people that are just like, I just find like I said, in the metal community, I find that they do more harm than good to themselves, and part of it is maybe because it's a circular, cyclical thing about like metal plays very well to the outcast as well, to the underdog, and you know, a lot like other genres of music can do that. I mean, like, you know, for sure you can have that in any genre of music where the concepts are about being the other, and metal is very much, you know, a lot about being the other, and a lot of people are drawn to metal, and again, maybe it's just like a lot of coincidence and stuff too, about like, yeah, I just happen to like that style of music. Oh, and I also happen to be like someone who's, you know, ostracized from all my peers or whatever, and or maybe is oppressed or whatever. Like for some people, like this is the music of the oppressed. For some cultures and stuff too, like where, you know, metal is still like, in some places, I mean, if you've watched the documentary Heavy Metal in Baghdad, like, you know, there's some struggles there, and like in certain areas of the world where you can't even really express that you like metal. Why? Probably for some places I know it's because of this stereotype that gets perpetuated, that like, oh yeah, because metal's bad, that's why. And it's like, metal for me, just that genre of music has been so positive and for so many reasons. And that's because there's positive messages there too. Like there's so many bands that are about inner strength, rising above. Like, I mean, a lot of these are like tropes, so we got to get Jamie Jost on here for Lyric Police and stuff. But I mean, like, you know what I mean? And he's so guilty of that too, right? But like rising above, you know, battling inner turmoil outside, outside negativity, or people trying to hold you down or whatever, and like whatever. Anyway, there's a lot of strength that can be drawn from metal. One of my like one of the metal bands I really enjoy is In Heart's Wake, and this Australian band is like really environmentally conscious in their lyrics and connecting with the earth and stuff, and the music is still somewhat aggressive and also melodic and beautiful, and there's so much diversity within metal anyway. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just sick of the fact that it's like metal's evil, yeah, 666, the devil. Like, it's just not true. Like, you've got all types of concepts and lyrics and things and themes that are expressed within this style of music, which is a very broad style of music. You could say the same thing for other genres too. Like, rap is not all about anyway, it's not all about just like get money, like gangsta stuff. Like, there's gangsta rap, there's underground rap, backpack rap, there's all these stupid little labels that somewhat help these themes. I mean, even country music isn't all about like, my girl left me and somebody kicked my dog and I got a truck. Like, it's not always about that. There's some real personal stuff there, right? I know that there are some themes that are generally accepted to be equated with certain genres of music, like country, like some mainstream rap that tends to be sometimes more shallow. At least that's what gets brought up to the forefront, maybe because way more people are really shallow than the alternative. That's just throwing that in there because that's legit. And same thing with metal too. Like, there's a lot of people that are exploring darker themes within themselves, and some of that is very intelligent and some of it is not. It's super shallow and stupid, and people aren't really intelligently exploring these themes, and some bands are way too heady for them anyway. But I mean, there's a whole, like, metal is so diverse. I don't want to say it's more diverse in its concepts than any other genre, but it just happens to be that I am so much into metal and have been for so long that I have been exposed to a huge diversity in the music and the themes explored and everything. You know, and like there's a lot of rap that I listen to, and it's generally not the mainstream stuff, even though they're doing a good job, in some people are, of being smart and intelligent, and that is somewhat getting somewhere with more contemporary rappers, which is nice to see. Anyway, that's it. Like, metal is not inherently evil. It is not even inherently dark, or depressing, or sad, or angry. Even though a lot of the music is more aggressive, not all of it is. Like, double kicks by themselves are not just like aggressive necessarily. Like, I mean, in comparison to like some other drumming styles, sure. But anyway, that's it. Metal is good.